Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this week's Priestess Transmission, Priestess Rise Up. I'm so delighted to connect with you, whether you're here live or you are watching the replay. It is so amazing to connect through the heart waves on this journey that we're on. If you are here watching this, then I know that you have a sacred mission to bring about planetary healing through unconditional love. Yes, that's how big the mission is. That's how noble it is. That's how important it is. And it is not one that one person can complete on their own. This is really a co creative, a collaborative endeavor. It is a sisterhood and a brotherhood of priestesses that are here to usher in, to midwife this planetary healing. And I've said many times, of course, that there's no attachment to the word priestess. You might use a different word, light worker, earth angel, therapist, whatever label you use is fine. But that is the word that chose me, right? That is the path that called me. So we gather together always to empower that path. And so today we're going to talk about self-love. And I've been on a journey of loving myself for many, many years, for lifetimes, really. I think, no, better said, I know we're all on that path. And this past weekend, when I was teaching my Priestess Level 1 training, that was a topic. And I was really sharing, to back up a little bit, for those of you who are new to my work, these teachings, these transmissions are based on my forthcoming book, Priestess Rise Up. My first book, Answering Your Inner Calling, hey Jill, was all about answering your inner calling, right? And evolving your career from the inside out. And the second book, in some ways, is kind of like a sequel, except that it's really specific about the priestess path. So on this training that I did last week, hello Jill, hello Diane, I was really, what's the word? Like sorting through, unweaving, even though unconditional love for self is everything, is the everything, right? Love has no degrees. I mean, if you really want to simplify things, there's love and not love. That's it. There's love and not love. And not love ultimately doesn't exist because all that exists is love, right? So it's like, that's what God, source, divinity is. We are love. And yet, here as humans, hey Donna, we're remembering that truth. And for me, self love has always felt so, depending on different stages of my life, I kind of rolled my eyes at it, then it felt incredibly impossible, all sorts of things. And so, as I've been writing this book and really getting clarity on these teachings, what came through was these 5 aspects of unconditional love, even though they all come back to unconditional love. And the one I want to talk about today is self patience. That is, first of all, it's very helpful to understand, wow, that is a branch of love. That is an aspect, a human aspect of unconditional love for self. And I've said over and over and over that the path, the priestess path that I'm on, that I've been called to, that I'm calling others to, is the one of channeling unconditional love for yourself and for the world. So even though we're talking about self patience right now, you want to understand that this is ultimately what awakens this divine patience for humanity. And I used to really dislike that word patience, because I felt like there were so many things in my life that took way longer than I wanted them to. I thought at 18 I was going to go off to college, or actually go off and join the Peace Corps and travel the world and heal people, and that didn't happen, right? I instead became a mom. College took me 8 years to complete. I can give you just a list of things that have taken me longer than other people, at least through human standards. At the same time, this is the amazing thing. It's when you are on your path, even though to your human mind it might look like you are going slower, the divine, your soul, is so wise, is so efficient that you're actually going faster than a lot of other people. And this isn't a competition. This isn't to say we're better than others or anything like that. It's just a divine paradox. And so, self patience, what does that mean? I mean, it's kind of self explanatory, but it is really being patient with the pacing of your healing journey, because we are all on a healing journey. Everyone. Unless you already are an ascended master, in which case you wouldn't have a body, you wouldn't be here. You are on a healing journey. Now, some people are conscious of that and some people are not. And so self patience is having patience with the pacing of it. That's one of the hardest things. It really moves you from spiritual infancy, spiritual toddlerhood, spiritual teenagehood to spiritual maturity. And it's not just like, okay, I know there's a divine timing, right? I've been in that place. It's much more than that. If you think about the ascended masters, those divine beings that you connect with, whether it's Mother Mary or Kuan Yin or Green Tara or Ascended Master Jesus or Buddha or Krishna, there's countless. Absolutely, they have divine patience for us. And there's a fear that can happen with patience. It's really interesting that there can be a part of us that feels, well, if I'm patient with this, then it's going to take longer. It's like an ego trick to think that, right? Or if I'm patient with those people that are not healing as quick as I would want them to, then they're just going to drag and take forever, right? If I'm patient with people who do bad things, doesn't that mean they're just going to keep doing bad things? And we're just, and quote unquote bad things. I'm not even going to go into that conversation, but the reason it gets confusing is because we're confusing patience with codependency and rescuing and martyrdom, which is a whole other thing. That those are viruses that we're healing. True patience, right? So when I'm talking to Jesus, and when I name these ascended masters, I'm not connecting with any specific religion or any sort of religious dogma. I'm talking about ascended master Jesus, ascended master Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene. These beings who led a human life and now have ascended and are, just like in Buddhism, right, are here to, like the bodhisattvas who take that vow, are here to help us awaken. So when I am upset, as I have been the last 2 weeks, hey Zoe, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Because I'm not feeling well, because I have anemia again, because I have all these plans and all these things to do, including finish writing my book. And I have had such little energy and I'm really impatient. And I have all the reasons that seem right to have, to be impatient. I can have all my feelings. And so when I connect with Jesus or Mother Mary, who I connect with a lot, I am so grateful that they are divinely patient with me. There isn't any snapping of fingers. There isn't any like, oh my gosh, get over it already, or you're too slow, or you should have known better, or any of that. And yet they still hold the bar up high, right? There's no enabling. And so that type of patience, when we encounter that patience in others towards ourselves, it is incredibly healing. It paradoxically speeds up our healing. Isn't that so interesting? That we're afraid that by being patient with ourselves, or a part of us can be afraid that we will stay stuck, that we won't get through it. When in truth, self patience as an aspect of unconditional love for yourself actually does the opposite. It actually, when you meet that consciousness of divine patience towards yourself, your consciousness shifts. You're freed from the future and from the past, right? Because what happens when we're impatient? We think we're falling behind. When we're impatient with ourselves, right? We think we're falling behind. Like me, like this week, I'm like, I have so many things to do. Instead, I had to go to the doctor and all these things today. So, but when we can encounter that divine patience within ourselves, when we build that muscle, and in truth, we are naturally patient with ourselves. We've just been infected by the disease of self-loathing and self-hatred and self-impatience, that we have to clear all that stuff. And so when we encounter that vibration towards ourselves, it liberates us from the fears about the future and from any burdens from the past where we didn't meet our goals or whatever. And it brings us to the present moment, the eternal now. And in that present moment, all solutions, right? All solutions are available. Flow happens, miracles happen, gratitude happens, healing happens. So this quality of self-patience, that's the beauty of writing, right? The beauty of teaching something is that we learn it, right? So as I'm teaching the priestess training, as I'm writing this book, like I'm learning so much. And so for me to start to understand, to break down self-love, because self-love we have all sorts of baggage around that term, and it doesn't really capture what we're talking about. Destiny, I'm glad you're here too. Thank you, Jill, for that. Yes. And so I want to invite you to think about any area in your life right now where you're not feeling patient towards yourself about it. Whether it's health, whether it's finances, whether it's something to do with your home. I mean, there's countless things, right? Where you would rather be at a different point in the journey. I have many of those right now. I shared the health one, right? And first of all, we're just going to have compassion for that, right? No judgment. Compassion is another aspect, right? Another aspect of that unconditional love. So there's no judgment. It is absolutely human nature for us to have that impatience with ourselves. And what we're going to do when we step into our meditation, a very short ceremony meditation, is to tune in to that divine master within you. This is what a priestess does. She practices this over and over and over and over and over again, especially when she doesn't feel like it. That's what really builds this grace that as priestesses we want to walk with. So again, this doesn't mean perfection. This doesn't mean you never get angry or upset or any of those things. It just means you keep tuning into the divine master that lives within you. And so we're going to step inside and together, because as a collective, it's so much more powerful to do this. And I know it's not just you that are here live right now, but it's everyone who will watch this replay. Whenever you watch this replay, we're going to go within and let ourselves encounter that patience towards us that is already within us, to let ourselves receive it. And as I've been doing over and over in these transmissions and other classes, I'm going to invite you to set the intentions. I'm telling you this already, to let yourself receive more than you have ever received before. We have all sorts of baggage and burdens and trauma and wounding that blocks us from receiving, even from our own divine self, especially from that place sometimes. So it is really powerful and important for us to together say, I intend, I have the courage to set that intention to receive, right? To receive more of that divine patience, to let yourself be bathed in it, knowing that it doesn't mean that you're saying, okay. So, for example, my parts that are pretty sick of being sick or tired or everything that I'm feeling, I've had this conversation with those parts of me for them to understand that this doesn't mean that I'm saying that I'm intending to be anemic forever. Right? It's like I'm saying that I'm willing to receive this aspect of unconditional love towards myself, right? This aspect that we're calling self-patience, that I'm willing to open to receive that gift and to start to learn what it does, not only to my physical body, but to my emotions, to my spiritual connection, and yes, to my external life when I allow that to happen. That's what this is about. And so we're going to do that together. Okay, we're going to do that together. And I'm just tuning in. I feel like and I guess what I want to say is to not minimize how powerful this is. It's so interesting that our ego is terrified of this type of love, is terrified. The egoic structure is terrified of us embracing this because it's afraid that it will mean the death of the ego. And it's right. So it's normal for us to have resistance and fears about it. But again, when we name it, hi Claire, I'm so glad you're here. When we name it, it starts to lose its power. We start to normalize all of this so that you're not thinking, oh, it's just me, or why do I have all this resistance, or why am I so weird, or why do I start to distract myself when I'm actually wanting to love myself. All of those things, we all have that. So that's part of this priestess co-creation process, is that when we do it together, we name it, we normalize it, we get through it with more efficiency and love. So let's go ahead and go within. And actually, I want to share these two statues I have here today. I have my Lady of Guadalupe statue that I bought in Mexico. I just love it. It's so beautiful. I have many Guadalupes. As many of you know, I'm very connected with her. And I also brought my Brigid statue. Okay, I'm sorry to pick these two up so you see them. They're so beautiful and powerful. And I had them here to talk about because next week there's going to be a special transmission with both of them. But I'm also feeling like they're going to be here right now for this little ceremony we're doing. So whether you're like, who's Our Lady of Guadalupe, who's God is Brigid, or you're like, I love them both, just know that these are divine beings that are here to help us precisely with these things. So let's go ahead and invite you to close your eyes. And let's just allow yourself to settle into your heart and settle into your body and settle into the earth. And let's just take a quick moment to visualize roots of light going down your legs and out the bottoms of your feet, deep, deep, deep into the earth. Releasing anything that doesn't serve you and really allowing yourself to ground, connect with the heart of Mother Earth. because the intention of doing these meditations, these ceremonies, are to birth these energies into form. This isn't about escaping. This is about really arriving. And as you feel that connection with the earth, now I invite you to bring your awareness to your heart. So bringing your hands over your heart center. And just take a moment to really tune in, really bring loving awareness to your heart. Knowing that at the center of your heart temple resides that divine master within you. And so you can keep your hands there or you can relax them, whatever feels best for you. And so I invite you to now visualize at your heart a beautiful rose, a blooming, radiant, pearlescent white rose. And the petals are facing outwards. The petals are opening and opening and opening. And so we're going to have the courage here. Remember, your own soul, your own higher self is in charge. But we're having the courage to allow more opening of our heart. Right? More opening of our heart. And as these rose petals, these pearlescent white rose petals start to open, you're going to travel into your heart's temple. And so just visualize, we're going to use our third eye temple right now to visualize in front of you your heart's temple. And just see a doorway and all of these pearlescent white rose petals on a path leading to it falling over you. As you walk on this path, every step you take, you feel more grounded and more expanded at the same time. And so you walk on these petals, you feel these petals touching any part of your body that holds pain, that holds imbalance, that needs healing. Perhaps some of the petals land on specific spots, and just let them do that. These petals are coming from your own beautiful soul. And so as you step in through the doorway, you step into this temple, and you see at the center a beautiful white rose throne. Usually it's a lotus throne, but today it's a white rose throne. And sitting on this throne is a beautiful, radiant being of light. And now I'm just going to use the pronoun she for this ceremony. If that doesn't resonate, you can replace it. So this being of light, she is radiant. She is an embodiment of that I am presence. And as you look towards her, she's so bright, you can only see her outline. And so as you start to approach her, Our Lady of Guadalupe steps forward in front of your left side. And she's wearing her beautiful cloak of stars. She has a beautiful smile on her face. And she's bringing healing to any part of you that might feel unworthy, that might feel blocks or resistance to going further into this heart's temple. So Our Lady of Guadalupe, she is embodying an aspect of the Divine Mother in this moment. And so if there's any part of you that you're feeling feels fear or resistance to continuing to move forward into this heart's temple, just let Our Lady of Guadalupe, she just brings this beautiful blessing of stars, like stardust. And as that happens, then you notice that to your right, beautiful Brigid is coming forward. And she's coming over to your right side. And she's holding in her hand a flame, just like that beautiful statue I showed you. And today it is a beautiful purple flame. And she's just asking if there's anywhere that you need this purple flame of transmutation. Anywhere in your body, anywhere in your life, she offers it to you now. She wants to bring you peace of mind as you prepare to go further into this temple. And so if you are willing to accept her flame, do that now. Maybe you put it on a part of your body. Maybe you put it over a whole area of your life. Just allow it to go wherever it needs to. You have these two masters, Guadalupe and Brigid, just offering a little taste, a delicious morsel of grace. In preparation actually for next week. And so as you receive this now, whatever you allowed yourself to receive, now you step further to connect with this divine being that's sitting on that white rose throne. And now, as you receive this healing from Our Lady of Guadalupe and from Brigid, your eyes have accustomed to the light. And with great awe and love in your heart, you realize that you are looking into the presence of your own divine self. The master within you is sitting there on that rose throne. And you're just letting yourself receive first that acknowledgement that this master lives within you, that you are her. And together, we're going to let ourselves receive, be activated in this divine patience, self-patience, because you realize that this divine master is absolutely in love with you. There is no judgment. There is no harshness towards you. There's no impatience. There's no comparison. And so as you stand before this master that you are, just receive from her heart to your heart this beam of self-patience. Let's receive that blessing now. And as you receive it, start to feel dissolving any self-judgment, any impatience you have towards yourself. Just trust that it is dissolving beyond your logical understanding. And as this happens, notice if there's anyone in your life that you're feeling impatient with. And there's no judgment, right? We all have those parts of us. And just see that person connecting with their divine self, receiving that beautiful patience from their own divine self. Only if this resonates, right? You are sovereign, but if that calls to you, if there's anyone in your life that you're feeling impatient with, you're feeling impatient with where they're at on their journey or with anything else, in this moment, let's all visualize. The power of our vision is so powerful. Visualize that person connecting with their own divine master within them, receiving that beautiful patience from their divine master that lives within them, that is them. And so, as we come to closing, the divine master within you offers you a symbol. Perhaps it's a color or a geometric shape or a word or anything else. Just listen for a few moments. And if you don't receive it now, trust that you are receiving it, but it will become clear what it is at just the right time for you. And so with that, this beautiful temple dissolves in light. Guadalupe dissolves in beautiful stardust. Today, Brigid dissolves in this beautiful flame, purple flame. Feel yourself back in your body. Feel the earth underneath you. We ask your higher self to integrate today's healing and teaching across all levels, across all dimensions of time, and across all levels of your being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And with that, we bring the palms of our hands together and we bow to each other and our own heart. And we begin and end. We end with a namaste. Namaste, everyone. Whew, I'm going to drink a little water. If you want to share anything in the chat, that was a lot longer. I think this is the longest priestess transmission, but it's so funny. I'm going to share this with you that we're talking about divine self-patience because literally at one point I had a part that was like, you need to hurry it up. This is taking too long. And I was like, so the master within me was tuning into her like, it's okay. Let's receive patience. Oh, thank you, Macy. I'm so glad you tuned in as well. And so I'm going to just pull a card for the group. I do want to share that I pulled one before we started and it was clarity. This is such an interesting card. Look what it says: planning, releasing illusion. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, the light here, but so I love that both those words. It's like planning and releasing illusion. So I feel like as we tune into this master within you, as you release the illusion of time and constraint and all of that, you can actually step into soulful planning. It's so interesting. That's what came to me. And yeah, so I'm going to pull a card. Oh, thank you, Robbie. So glad you're here. So this is from the Priestess Oracle. This is for everyone watching live and everyone who is yes, Diane, higher level of patience. Yes. Here we go. Oh my gosh, I love this card. I keep saying this, but I have never seen this card before. Circle of Eternal Joy. And look at what it says. Timelessness, dance of life. Look at this. Circle of eternal joy, timelessness, right? Because really, that is what this self-patience awakens in us. It awakens this circle of eternal joy, and it awakens timelessness, right? It releases us from feeling like, oh, when I'm better, when I have this, when this happens, when I have more money, when I have more clients, when I have more whatever, then I'll be happy, right? No, this is releasing us from that. It's saying, no, it's now. So I love that this showed up for us. So perfect. Circle of eternal joy. And so I am just, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. I mean, Guadalupe and Brigid were so much more present today than I thought. I literally thought I was just going to show you the statues and be like, join us next week. But Zoe, who is joining us from Ireland, who, you know, is just going to bring such a beautiful energy to this gathering next week, along with Guadalupe and Brigid and myself. We're going to be here to really talk about protection, that divine paradox, right? Because when we're on the priestess path, we are protected. When your heart is open and tender and vulnerable, that is your strongest protection. And yet, we are here in this planet that has a lot of different energies and a lot of things going on. And so that is what our conversation is going to be about. And it's not just a conversation, the meditation, the activations, the healing, the empowerments that are going to be here next week. I'm so excited. I would love to see you. And Sophia Circle Journeys are starting again December 12th. Woo-hoo! So if you want to join, I'm going to be starting in, actually already have people joined. So if you have been eyeing the Sophia Circle Journeys and you've been thinking like maybe that's something for me and you haven't joined the last two, perhaps this one, which starts on 12/22/22, which is all about activating your sovereign power and connecting with these ascended masters that are just so loving and amazing and helping you to awaken the master within you. I would love to talk to you. That was really long. Bye, everyone. I'm going to go drink some water and enjoy my circle of joy. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.